It's almost turkey time, everybody. So today's recipe, I'm going to be showing you how to roast a turkey that is nice and delicious and moist. Now, this was requested by my youngest son, who, for those of you that have grown-up kids and you know, they're not going to have Thanksgiving with you this year, well, mine's not going to have it with me. And while it's a little bit sad, it's a part of life, right? But anyway, my son asked me if I would make a video on how to roast a turkey because he's going to be making his own. So I feel really honored to be able to do this. That's one of the reasons why I enjoyed making videos, so that my family can have these recipes, you know, generation to generation. So, and they can see me cooking. So anyway, I'm Rockin' Robin, and I'm going to show my son and you how to do it right after this. To start off, you want to take your turkey. Whether it's frozen, you'll have to read the package to see how long it takes to defrost. You want to do that in the refrigerator. That is what I did with mine. I left it in the refrigerator for like 3 days until it was completely defrosted. Once it's defrosted, then you're going to want to take it out of the packaging when you're ready to cook it, and do it in the sink because you don't want to get turkey, you know, maybe potentially, you know, salmonella in different places. So be careful, open it up, leave the packaging in the bottom of your sink, and then just rinse out your turkey, remove the neck and the giblets and the heart, and just, you know, rinse it out, give it a nice good rinse, put it on a dish with some paper towels under it to absorb a lot of the moisture from, you know, rinsing it, and pat it dry, get it really nice and dry. And we're gonna save these parts. I'm just gonna put them in the bottom of my baking pan. So I'm going to let the bird sit here and just dry, continue to dry until we get all of our ingredients together. Now for roasting our turkey, I'm going to be using my roasting pan here, which I love to use. But if you don't have one, and in the case with my son, he may not have one, so you can get the foil type at the grocery store, and if they're not very sturdy, put 2 together and it'll be perfect. If you're making a small turkey, my turkey's about 10 pounds. One foil pan should do it. We're going to start off by making a compound butter. So what that is some softened butter. I'm using salted butter here. And I'm going to place it into a bowl. Just leave this out for about an hour before you start so that it's nice and soft, and it'll make it easier to mix up. So we're going to add a half a teaspoon of ground sage to this. Sprinkle it in. A teaspoon of poultry seasoning. A teaspoon of basil flakes. We're going to add some fresh garlic, not too much, we don't want to overpower our dish, but a little bit. So I'm putting it in the garlic press, and oops, we'll just drop a little bit in there. I'm using a couple of cloves. I'm going to add the zest of a lemon. This will just give it a little brightness. And I'm going to add a little bit of lemon juice. Now I'm going to pour it into my clean hand so that I can get out the seeds if they fall in. Now I'm going to save that lemon for later. We're going to add a little bit of cracked pepper. And I'm going to chop up a handful of parsley. So chop up that parsley nice and fine. And then we'll add it to our mixture. Now give this a nice stir. And I'm going to add just a bit of olive oil to this. This goodness is what is going to keep your turkey nice and moist while it's roasting away. Now we want to take our vegetables. We're going to take some celery. I got 3 stalks of celery here, and I'm just going to cut them up into thirds or so. And I'm going to place it into the bottom of my roasting pan. Same thing with the carrots. This is going to give a nice flavor to our gravy that we're going to make. Now, if you don't want to make gravy, that's fine, but for those of you that want it, you might as well take advantage of all the nice flavors here. So we're going to place this in here, and same thing with an onion. So we got our mirepoix, which is a combination of carrots, celery, and onion. Now, we don't even need to take the paper skins off of this because we're not going to be using it. This is just going to be flavoring the drippings. So I'm just going to place them in the bottom of the pan. So now we're going to take our bird and place it right on top, right here. And we're going to take our wings and we're going to just fold them down so they don't get burnt when they're cooking. I'm going to place the neck in the bottom of the pan and all the gizzard and the liver and the heart, just so that it can flavor, again, our gravy. we're going to salt and pepper the inside of the cavity of the turkey there. We'll put a little salt in there and a little bit of pepper. I'm going to take that lemon that I used for the zest and a little bit of the juice, and I'm going to put it in the cavity there. And that's going to give a little bit of flavor and moisture as it's cooking. Okay, now this is the messy part. We're going to pick up the skin here. Okay, we're going to run our fingers underneath the skin and the meat. Try not to tear the skin if you can. We're going to loosen that up so that we can put our compound butter underneath. You can actually do it from both ends. We can do it from this end as well. Just got to get under there. So now I'm going to take the compound butter. You can either use a spoon or you can use your hand. It's going to be a messy job, but it's going to be good. So you just put a little bit underneath each breast here, each side, and then I'm going to kind of push that around. You see how we can kind of move it around there and get a little more in there. And then bring your skin back to where it should be. And just work that butter right over the top. Okay, so now I'm just going to pour the rest of this just right over the top of the turkey, all over every part of it. Get the wings as well. All right, I'm going to add a little olive oil to the bottom of the pan, just a little bit, give those vegetables a little coat. I'm going to put a little bit of salt in there. And we're going to put some chicken broth in the bottom of the pan, probably a couple of cups. Now I'm going to cover the bird for a couple hours. I have my oven preheating to 425 degrees. So we got the turkey in. It's cooking away at 350 degrees, and I'm going to check it at about an hour and 3/4 and see how it's doing. I'm going to check the temperature, see how it looks. I'm going to take the foil off, and I'm going to let it go longer, of course, until it browns up and gets nice and golden brown, at which point then I'll test it again. You want your turkey to be at least 165 degrees Fahrenheit, and check your thigh. Get that thermometer in there in the deepest part and see what you got. That'll be the most accurate reading, and you can also check the thickest part of the turkey breast. So guys, I have a lot of other recipes for you to try for Thanksgiving and Christmas that'll complement your turkey. Stuffing, I have a sausage-based stuffing that I think is just fantastic. You'll love it. Sweet potatoes, regular mashed potatoes, pumpkin pie recipe that's killer. You're gonna love that one too. So I'll leave all of those links down below in the description. So go ahead and check that out, plus all of my other information about social media, etc. So make sure you check it out down below. Click where it says show more. All right guys, I just took the turkey out of the oven. It cooked for about 2.5 hours. Internal temperatures 167 or 68 or so. So you're gonna take it out. We're gonna remove it from the pan because we need to get to our drippings to make our gravy. Lift it up and drain out. The cavity has a lot of liquid in it. Now this turkey needs to rest for 30 minutes. Drape this over it to kind of keep it warm, but it has to be for 30 minutes so that all the juices don't run out of it when you cut into it. In the meantime, I'm going to take all the pan drippings here and I'm going to strain them through a strainer. So here you can see the layer of fat, and I'm going to try and just skim off this top layer right here because that's just all fat, right? And this is all the drippings. So I skimmed off most of the fat that I could get out, and now I'm going to measure out 3 cups of this into my measuring cup. And I'll explain how I came up with 3 in a minute. All right guys, so to make our gravy, I've got a frying pan here and I've got some butter in it. I've got 3 tablespoons of butter. I've got 3 tablespoons of flour, and I've got my broth and drippings that we measured out to 3 cups. I just picked that number arbitrarily just because that's what I want to make in terms of the volume of gravy. Here's a rule of thumb for you. For every tablespoon of fat, whether it be oil or butter in this case, you're going to want to use an equal amount of flour. So that's why I have 3 tablespoons of each. And 1 tablespoon of flour and 1 tablespoon of butter will thicken up 1 cup of liquid. And we're going to cook the butter. We're going to make a roux. That's another one of those French terms. And a roux is what's going to thicken up all of the drippings from our turkey. Once the butter is melted, I'm going to add the flour and just whisk it in. Now we're going to cook this for about 1 minute. Now I'm going to start adding the drippings to this slowly, not the whole thing at once, but just a little bit at a time, and then we'll just whisk it in. Once it's incorporated, add some more, and we'll just keep doing this until I get it all incorporated. So guys, I'm going to stop here. I don't want this any thinner than this. You can see here how thin that is, or thick. That's how I like my gravy. Now you want to taste this to see if it needs any salt or maybe more pepper. So after resting the turkey for 30 minutes, I'm ready to carve it up. All right guys, I'm going to sneak a little taste of this turkey that I just sliced up. Super moist, and that compound butter adds so much flavor and keeps it moist. I mean, it's just fantastic, guys. You got to try this. So guys, that's how I roast my turkey for Thanksgiving and Christmas. I hope you try it and it works out for you. It turns out nice and juicy and moist like it does for us. Thanks so much for watching. If you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and click that button up there and you'll be notified every week when a new video comes out. Now, if you have any questions for me at all regarding this recipe or any other topic related to food or my channel, leave them down below in the comments section. And don't forget to check out the description as well. That'll give you the recipe as well as lots of links to my social media and lots of other good information down there for you. So don't miss that. All right, guys, thanks again for watching. We'll see you next time.